Welcome to Unapologetically Sensitive, where you can learn, relate, laugh, and maybe even live a bolder, brighter life. I'm your host, Patricia Young, licensed clinical social worker. This is a weekly podcast where we explore the strengths we have because of our sensitivity and some of the challenges it poses as well. The information in this podcast is not a substitute for help from a licensed mental health professional. Hey there, it's Patricia. This is a bonus episode, and I can't even tell you which one it is because I am working off of a table in my office where I see clients. I don't have my notes. I don't have my notebook. My kids are home from college still. And let me tell you guys, the honeymoon is over. It's been a really long week, and it's hard for me having people in my space and having my routine disrupted. I know I keep talking about it, and I'm going to keep talking about it till it's not bugging me anymore. So my mom was kind enough to lend me a table, and I'm hunching over the table so I can reach the microphone so you can hear me. And I just want to get some recording done while I have some quiet and some space to do it. What I want to talk to you about today is, how do we create our own party when nobody shows up for the party? So the good news is, when these disappointing things happen in my life, it gives me great material to talk to you guys about. So that's the spin that I'm going to take on this. I know I always say this, but I really want to be clear that when I share about my experiences, it's coming from a place of looking at what comes up for me and what can I do to take care of myself. So I want to be really clear that I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not shaming anybody. Nobody has done anything wrong. So I have a group an online group that I attend weekly. It's something that's really important to me that I value. Because I work as a therapist, I work from home mostly. I don't get as much contact with people as my little HSP extrovert self needs. So I really look forward to these times of connecting. Our group has gotten small, and so sometimes, I'll tell you what happened. Last week, we meet in the morning, and so last week I was on a phone call, but I rushed to get off because I knew that I needed to get to my group meeting. I wait till the last minute to do stuff right now because I'm kind of overwhelmed. So I, took a shower and rushed to get to the meeting, and then I get there and I'm online and nobody's showing up. And it felt like showing up to a party and nobody's there. I just felt really, really disappointed, and I don't like feeling disappointed, and I was really looking forward to having a connection with these folks. I missed the meeting the week before because I was doing 2 great podcast interviews with Melvin Varghese, and I let the group know that I wasn't going to be there. For this week, it was the day before Thanksgiving. I wasn't sure if anybody was going to show up, so I asked. It looked like one person was going to be able to show up, and 2 people were not. The third person I just didn't know about. Again, I had to set up in the bedroom because I don't have a private place where I can do an online meeting, so I'm in the bedroom. But I wanted to eat before we started, so I went and grabbed something, and I kind of wolfed it down because I wanted to be ready for the meeting. And then the person that was going to be there we messaged back and forth, and she wasn't feeling up to meeting. I don't want anybody to show up when they don't feel well. Again, I have lots of grace for her. But I found myself starting to feel resentful that I had wolfed down a breakfast that I didn't take time to enjoy because my priority and my value was this meeting. And so for 2 weeks in a row, I cut things short. I rushed because it was my value to be at this meeting on time because it's important to me. Everybody else has other things going on in their lives. It doesn't mean that it's not important. But what this brought up for me is once I started to feel the disappointment, some of the resentment, and we've been talking about adding members to the group, but there's just been so much going on that I really have not wanted to take the time and what it takes to get new members that are going to be a good fit for our group. But I thought, all right, so I'm rushing to be here. It's a priority to me. We need to get some more people here. Like, I'm showing up to the party and there's no one here. So we need to send out more invitations. This is how, as HSPs, we take care of ourselves. I get that you're not always able to do this in every situation, but it would be really easy to get into that place of anger and resentment. And the story that I could make up in my head is, it's important for me to be here and nobody else cares about this meeting and I'm the only one that's rushing around to be here. And, I make choices, and I made choices last week to do what I needed to do to get to the meeting. Today I made choices about what I needed to do to get to the meeting. I need to send out more invitations. We need to have a bigger party. That's what I did. I did what I needed to do to try and get more people showing up. And it's not uncommon for HSPs to really value our commitments, showing up on time, being ready, being committed. I'm not saying that these other people are not any of those things. I really want to, again, say that this is about focusing on me and kind of how we as HSPs operate. If we find that we're doing a lot of work to get to a meeting, an appointment, a gathering with someone, or we're the one that's doing all the work and initiating getting together, and we don't want to do that, then we need to look at that. And why are we doing the work, and what do we need to do to create situations, environments, friendships, meetings, appointments, whatever, that meet our needs a little bit better? We need to be responsible for setting up things that work for us. I don't have control over this, and I could get 4 more people to join the group, and I may end up rushing next week and show up and nobody's there. I don't have control over the outcome, but there certainly are some things that I can do to make this more manageable and increase the likelihood that somebody will be there when I go to show up. Are there places in your work, if you look at relationships, whether they're personal or professional, or meetings? I always feel like I'm so terrible at trying to come up with examples. That's why I love having a co-host or somebody to bounce ideas off of. Are there places where you feel like, how come I'm the one that's always calling, or how come I'm always doing the work, or how come I'm doing the reaching out? What do you need to do to equalize that? Do you need to share with the other person that it feels like you're doing all the work and you want the other person to participate? Do you need to back off a little bit? I'm not advising you as to what you need to do. That's something that you'll need to look at. How important and valuable is this relationship? Are you getting your needs met? But if you're having feelings of frustration, disappointment, resentment, that's usually an indication that something is amiss. And that's when it's up to us to take responsibility and figure out what we can do so that we are not having those feelings. Obviously, we can't control it. Life is about some frustration and disappointment. So it's not about having the perfect life, but it's about taking action so that we create environments, relationships, situations that really meet our needs in a much better way. I find too that with a number of the HSPs that I work with, that this is pretty common, that some of us have a pretty strong need for connection, and it's not uncommon for us to overwork in relationships. See if that fits for you. If it doesn't, then no worries. If it does fit, then maybe you want to take a look at that. If you do find that you're struggling in your relationships, if any of this resonates with you and you're interested in working with me, you can go to my website, patriciayoung.lcsw.com. If you live in California, I can work with you virtually online, or if you live in San Diego, we can meet in my office. We have a Facebook group called Unapologetically Sensitive. I would love feedback about the podcast. What's working? What do you like? What do you want to hear about? What do you not like? You can send me an email, unapologeticallysensitive.com. Remember, sensitivity is nothing to apologize for. It's our superpower. That's my dog barking. Have a blessed day.